So welcome back. After some trips to Sweden, I'm going to continue on the Beetle. There's a lot of sanding and grinding involved, so let's get started. So I'll start grinding a lot more on the frame. There's a lot of caulk that put in between the frame and the body, and I'm going to take it all off with the angle grinder with the wire brush on top. Yeah, it's a job. It has to be done. It's going to be a lot of hours of grinding. Enjoy. So we started by chiseling off the biggest pieces of caulk that were still stuck to the frame, up to a centimeter thickness after the rubber seal was taken off. So a lot of stuff that I wanted to get rid of before we started sanding. So in detail, they have put on a lot of caulk in between, and I want to get this all off so at least the body will sit flush with the frame. And we probably have to clean these. There's a few holes, and this is where the jack points are. This one is a little bit worse than the other side, but overall the frame is in very good nick. I think also here in the front there's a little bit of, but mainly surface rust. And yeah, these bolts came off. They're very far, I mean, they're rusted through. We have to put some nuts back into these holes so we can attach them again. But there's just a lot of grinding involved, and I should probably plug off these two holes to the master cylinder, although I forgot we broke off that little pipe there. So I might need a new one anyway if I cannot get that separately online. We shall see. Overall, it looks in pretty good nick. As said before, there's just a lot of grinding, a lot of cleaning up to do. So better get started. So now I'm starting on the other side, and the caulk is really thick, and it just was smearing up my my wire brush. So I first had to chisel most of it away, or cutting it away. It was hard, and in some place it was still soft, but it was a lot of work to get all this stuff off. So someone was really adamant to get this rubber strip to fit tight on the frame. I won't be doing this. But anyway, it took like the whole day getting this clean and off so that I could then start looking at the rust holes and do some repairs. So it was on both sides that they had these patch panels welded to the frame and then to the body. I cut them loose to get the body off, and I'm trying here to get the patch panel off. In the end, I ended up cutting this piece, the whole piece of the frame out anyway, because it was so bad. But this was not the way it was intended. But of course, because of the heat channels or door sills being rusted through, they try to keep the body attached to the frame by welding these patch panels between the two. Again, it was a lot of work that I spent, and that wasn't really necessary. So here I'm cleaning up the frame, and I'm so happy that I put a cyclone on top of my my vacuum cleaner, my shop vac, because it works so well now. And it's not perfect, but it saves a lot of cleaning of your shop vac all the time. I'll put a picture in the right hand corner. So first I'm doing the left rear. I'm cutting this rotten material away or off the jack point, which is a double layer. So I had a lot of grinding to do and small cutting away of these pieces in order to weld in a new patch panel that will make it strong and secure again. And for the right rear, it's the same thing. It's again at the jack point where there's a piece rotted away. Luckily only the piece of the frame and not the jack point itself. So it's cleaning up, cutting away, grinding away, and then welding in a new patch panel that will be attached to the jack point again. And the other thing that I want to show is the frame that is almost done now after I sanded it. This I still have to repair. There's a hole here where the jack point is. It seems to be original jack points on either side, and there of course there's always where two metal come together, two plates come together, and it's not being sealed properly, you get rust. But overall, going through the rails, this one is in pretty good state. It's just, let me get the vacuum hose away. In the front there is some weak points. There's some thinner metal. There's some holes. So I'll think of putting a new patch piece in there. And it's the same on the other side. So we have some thin. I'm still surprised how little rust it really has. So we have a hole there, some holes there. I might put a patch panel in. Overall, yeah, I've damaged it here, but this is more to get the bolts out than actual rust damage. And all the way back, this rail is, or this rail, all the way back, this rail is fine. Here again, we have some rusted out piece for the jack point. So repair that. That's the next on the list to do. But then, after welding and after cleaning the front, which is in a very good state, there's no rust up here. It's just a lot of dust and dirt. We will get everything cleaned further, and we'll start doing some rust protection. And then it's just using pieces of paper with your dirty fingers to make a template of the patch panel you want to cut. So I'm also using these very thin cutting discs. I think they're 1 millimeter thickness. I'm lost how much that is in inches, but it's very thin. You can't really use them to grind or to go sideways, and they'll break. Although I have never had it really that they come loose in pieces and hit you. But it's better be safe than sorry. Although you'll notice that I've taken off the protection hood on my angle grinder. It just works so much easier with that thing off. Yes, I have been cut myself at least 3 times over the last 34 years. So that's sort of okay. Anyway, then we're welding in the patch panels. So here it's on left rear. It's just tacking them in and then putting a lot of tacks in between. Same on the right rear side. made a patch panel, welding it in, and I still have to do the underside to weld the jack stand back to the panel. But this is, yeah, it's time consuming. That's a lot of work. Luckily, my daughter was going to help me again in a few hours. Welded the first two pieces, two holes on the frame. And they're all strong and thick and closed. We'll leave it as is, and the few pieces, I have one over there is an attachment piece. So here I'm teaching Moos to make patch panels by use of paper. She thought it was very interesting how you copied something and then cut it out to make these patch panels fit the original ones. So a lot of cutting. Again, we got this whole piece out. It was very thin from rust. There was a lot of welding onto the piece, so we cut that out, and we're going to make it out of 3 pieces because I don't have a stretcher shrinker. So we had to cut the 3 pieces nicely so it would close very tight together, so I could weld them onto the frame. Moos is going to weld them. I was just going to tack them in place so she could start welding this as she's still getting better and better, but wants to get a lot of practice in welding. So we're discussing here is the seam, how to place the part correctly. And of course we did have a lot of fiddling to do before we start welding, but here it's in place. I'm going to tack the pieces in, and she will finish them welding up. Well, the frame is done. It's not the most beautiful welding. Blah. I've been stuck in in my breathing apparatus for so long with the ear muffs and my glasses on that I'm sort of numb a little bit, tired, but it's all done. It's all welded, and now we will make it a little bit nicer. Get some edge primer on it, degrease the whole frame, and I think we're gonna put a coating of paint on it wherever the metal is bare, and the other places we'll just put some put the wax on or some tactile to keep it from rusting again. So I'll quickly show it. So this is the patch panel that we put in here. That's all solid. This whole rail was actually in very good condition. There's nothing there wrong. Only here in the front it was the whole thing was rusted out. I don't know why I have the piece, but we cut it out. And now we put it back in 3 pieces. I don't have a stretcher shrinker, so I still would like to have one. Always trying to look out for a second-hand one, because the ones that you can buy are these, yeah, well, you can buy an expensive one. And the other ones that you can buy for a few hundred are not really the best. So who knows, maybe I'll find a second-hand one at some point. And this side, the front was better. It just had some small patch panel in here, I think. Yeah, and this is a patch panel there. And the rest was just some holes that we had to fill because some of the holes were bad. In the back, we put the other patch panel. And that's it. That's it for this frame. It's in really, considering its age, in good condition. The front suspension is all fine. There's nothing rusted through there. And also the same here. I mean, there is some surface rust. We'll have to clean that up. But all in all, I'm very happy. So, frame's done. Now let's continue with the body itself. That will be for the next video. So, say bye for now and hope to see you next time. That's it for this time. I'll see you next time.